Hello, my name is Amina and I'm your decision-making specialist. And today is day 19, April 4th, 2020. And I actually had to look at my phone calendar to see what number it was. I've lost track. And I think maybe a lot of us have. I was talking to one of my clients today, and young man, and he had just gotten his own apartment, and I asked him how he was doing. He said, I think I'm doing okay, except he said, I was vacuuming a couple of days ago and I realized that I had just vacuumed the day before and there was nothing to vacuum up. And so we kind of talked about the time and how long it was beginning to feel every once in a while. And so he asked me what day it was, and I said April 4th, and he said, okay. He had lost track too. And when we got done talking, I realized that April 4th would have been my dad's birthday, and I like to think that it still is, even if he's not physically still here. And I kept thinking about him, and I remembered so many stories, and our life was not perfect. Our relationship was not always perfect, and my memories are very special of who he was, and they stay with me. And I was thinking about this being a hard time sometimes, the uncertainty of not knowing and not being able to really figure everything out, and it being complicated sometimes, and yet seemingly so simple because we just stay in our house. We only go for food, gas, pharmacy, stay put. And it sounds so simple until we're in the middle of it. And for some reason, I have no idea, I was remembering one night, and the day before we had had a blizzard, and it was huge. And the snow was piled up, and I remember standing at the window watching my dad shovel out the snow, and I have 3 brothers, and them shoveling out the snow to get the driveway cleared because Daddy had to open the garage door in order to get the car out to go to his job. And he had one main job, and then he had 1 or 2 sometimes other jobs. We didn't grow up very wealthy at all. There's one side of the tracks, there's the other side of the tracks. We lived on the other side of the tracks, so Daddy's job was really important, and my mom worked. So all of that really mattered when Daddy went out, and I always listened when he went out to hear the car start, because it didn't always start. It was an old car, and Daddy kind of kept it together because we couldn't afford to buy another one. And so this night, after the blizzard, and Daddy had not been able to go to work the day before, and that meant no money coming in. I wasn't aware of all of that so much when I was growing up, and I realize now that that was one whole day without pay. That was really important to us. And so tonight, that car just had to start. It just had to. It didn't. I listened. I crossed my fingers. I closed my eyes. I wished, and it didn't start. So Daddy came in, and he got his heavy gloves on, and he put his heavier cap on, and I said it didn't start, and he said it didn't start. And I loved my dad, and I always wanted to help. Wherever he went, I always wanted to help. So I got my usual job. I got the flashlight, and I would hold it, and he would say, move it just a little bit over until we could see the spot that Daddy was working on. And tonight, it was so cold, and he started out early because of the snow, and he knew that he had to get to work before the time to start began, because everybody was looking for jobs, and there weren't a lot of jobs, and my dad was a supervisor, and that was a job that a lot of people wanted. And so it was really important that that car start, that my dad could take his tools and he could do something and it would start. And no matter what he did tonight, I would push my little foot on the pedal, and I would listen, and I would cross my fingers, and I would hope, and it didn't start. And I got out, and I said, Daddy, it's not going to work. We just have to give up. It's not going to work. And I remember that my dad said something he always said. And what he said, can you see it working? And I said, no, it's not going to work. I'm watching, and you're dropping the bolts down because your hands are so cold and our feet are freezing. And I said, pretty soon we're going to freeze and the job won't matter. And he looked at me and he said, I need you to be able to see it. I can see it, and when you can see it, we'll find a way. So I closed my eyes again, and I didn't cross my fingers. I just looked, and I looked in my mind, and I looked out there in my pretend, and I saw a brand new car working, driving out of the driveway, and my dad waving goodbye like he always did. And I saw it working. So I said, Daddy, I can see it. He said, okay, then we'll find a way. You have to be able to see it and believe it, and that will light the way to what we need to do. Well, I didn't understand. And I was going to believe, and I was going to see it. I didn't tell him that I saw this beautiful new car, because our car was still the old one. And I don't know what happened. I have no idea. I just know that the next time I pushed down on that pedal, it started, and it kept running. And my dad just hugged me and thanked me for believing. And he said that made all the difference in the world. I was happy because I'd been holding that flashlight for a long time, and I was getting cold, and he kept telling me to go inside, and I was determined I was going to help him. And I did. I just helped him in a way I didn't know before. So he drove off, he waved, and see, that job not only was important for the money, that was the job at the ice cream factory. And I was a little kid. And that job meant not only did my dad get a paycheck, every time there was a new flavor of ice cream, a new ice cream bar, a new ice cream sandwich, ice cream with pumpkins in the center, whatever they were doing, I and my brothers got to try it first to see if we liked it. Yeah, can you imagine? We had a freezer with a whole shelf, one whole shelf of ice cream. So let me tell you, believing in that car, believing in my daddy getting to work was very important. And so I'm going to offer today to you that when things feel really dismal and like they're not going to work and you can't figure it out and you don't know how, if you have one of your children or one of your friends or one of anybody else and yourself, I'd like you to just say, "Help me believe," and we can make it happen. Now, I can't guarantee that that's going to happen and your car is going to start all the time and everything you want is going to come true. I'm going to say, why not? Why not? Why not see it and believe it and maybe cross your fingers a little bit? That might help. So try it and see if it doesn't happen a little more easily, if you don't all of a sudden find a way that works better than the old way that you were trying. It's just an experiment. It worked for me when I was 7, and I've used it ever since. It's not 100% sure, and it helps me stay believing. It helps me not give up when times are really, really rough. And there have been some really, really rough times. And I'm sure you've had rough times and you made it because you're here. So if you want, and we're all in this together, let's all of us believe, not in magic, just believe that it's possible for this to get better, for us to go out there to the other side in a better way, with a better belief of who we are and who we can be, and the story that we've written, and the legacy that we take with us, so that we have a life that we want to live that's even better than what we could believe in the beginning. Because you can believe it and have it come out better. And share it. So let's just for a second, just for an eyelash, if you will, let's all cross our fingers, close our eyes, and see what we would like to see when we go to the other side of this virus. Give it a try. Let me know. Subscribe, share it with a friend, I hope. And you just click the button to subscribe. Leave a comment. I'd really like that. And I will be back tomorrow for day 20. And I will look for you because you're important. All right, take care. See you tomorrow.